Hello, hello. Welcome back to the show. My name is Zip, and this is where we have a conversation about crypto. Appreciate all the new subscribers, all the likes, the comments, as we continue to try to grow a community that resonates together as we go through this journey in crypto. We got another good one for you today, folks. Stick through the end, and we're going to be talking about David Sachs and what's going on there with the crypto czar and the big picture, macro picture, as I like to talk about, and the importance of the four chairmen and the committees that came out earlier this week and what they're working behind the scenes for us that are in this crypto world. We got the CFTC news launching a digital assets markets pilot. And guess who's involved with that? Yep, you guessed it, Ripple. And we're also going to be discussing derivatives in the big picture there and some other larger macro picture of the crypto industry and what's going on with regards to the BTC and the adoption of reserves at the state levels. They just keep growing, folks. But an absolutely phenomenal time to be alive. And one thing that dawned on me earlier this week is I've been getting several phone calls and people asking me at work and such of, is it too late? No. If you're new to this environment, if you're brand new and you're trying to figure out what all this crypto language is and all this information that is coming out to the mainstream now, it's front and center. It's in our U.S. administration conversations. It's worldwide. Everyone is talking about it, and it's becoming more and more mainstream. You're absolutely not too late. You're exactly on time for your own story, and you're here for a reason, I do believe. Nothing happens by coincidences. But the blockchain revolution is absolutely alive. It's thriving, and it is beginning to course through the veins of a new financial world. That is exactly what is happening. The financial system is being rebuilt and modernized with crypto, blockchain, and as well as AI. You are still early and plenty of time to harness potential, untapped potential, if you would, to use this transformative technology to build your dreams into, with tangible profits as you invest in the cryptos we talk about. I am a utility maxi. I enjoy ISO 222 projects that actually are going to have real world utility and are going to be used in the financial sector as well as other sectors of the markets. And again, absolutely not too early. Learn, engage. Nothing I say is financial advice, but do your own research. But congratulations again if you're here, and congratulations to everyone else that is still learning and still here for many, many years. But with that, let's jump straight into it. David Sachs, he came out and had a discussion as far as the Doge team and how motivated they were, and they're working around the clock. That is our crypto czar. The folks are excited, and if they're working around the clock to get things done, that is absolutely great news for us. And we know where this thing is going. The next 3 to 6 months, the year, 2 years is absolutely going to be transformative, not only from a large picture in the financial environment, but for you as owners. So stay on and hold on. So historic moment we had this past week. It's really bigger than when they came out and they had the environment and spoke to us this week. The crypto czar, along with the congressmen and the committees that are being stood up to discuss crypto legislation. But it's a bigger picture, ladies and gentlemen, and we always have to look at the macro view and how big of a picture it really is. Let's take a listen to what David had to say here.
What's the plan here to legitimize and regulate crypto?
Well, the plan was really spelled out by President Trump in his week 1 EO on crypto, and it's all spelled out in there. The principles of the administration on crypto. The president said he wants to support the responsible use and growth of digital assets and blockchains across every sector of the economy. So the principles are all there. And yesterday I was invited up to Capitol Hill to meet with the chairman of the important committees that basically govern crypto. And so we had a press conference there to announce the legislative plan. You can see there's Chairman Tim Scott, who's the chair of the Senate Banking Committee, to my left, and then to my right is French Hill, who's the chairman of the House Financial Services Committee. And then to his right is John Bozeman, who's the chair of the Senate Agriculture Committee. And then to the left of Tim Scott is G.T. Thompson, who's the chair of the House Agriculture Committee. He's out of frame right now. But those are the four committees that govern crypto. And you may ask, why is the Agriculture Committee involved in crypto? And the reason is because the Ag Committee supervises the CFTC, the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, because commodities all came out of agriculture. So it's interesting. You need four committees across the House and Senate to get legislation done on crypto. It's not just House and Senate. It's actually two committees in each of the House and Senate. And so this is the first time where we've had four chairmen of the four key committees all come together and say that they're ready to support crypto legislation. There were a lot of people on X who felt like this wasn't, a mind-blowing announcement. They wanted something that they could trade on right away. That's not what this was. This was basically a statement of commitment from the chairs of the four committees that we're going to get legislation done this year, maybe in the next 6 months. I mean, that's really the goal. And we've never had that.
So again, the big picture, ladies and gentlemen, we're always looking for instantaneous results, and we look at the markets, and that's why I'm non-emotional and I don't look at the markets. But the big picture here is four committees coming together from the House and the Senate. This does not happen, generally speaking, and they have to each individualize their own regulations in their own committees. They are now coming together to expedite getting crypto and make it to the forefront of America and to make us an American crypto capital. And that's what Trump wants to do. And that's what Sachs is there put there to do. So he's pulling all of these folks together. So that is absolutely revolutional. That has not happened. And we know that government is very slow to react, but they're going around the clock to get this thing established. And as he said, and he mentioned again, possibly within 6 months. We're moving fast, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely awesome time. And again, just keeping you up to date. So Altcoin Daily, yeah, they've got to say, all of a sudden it seems like Ripple is part of every major US political conversation. I wonder why. This is not new news to us. Those of us that have been here for a while, we know what Ripple has been building, and we've been putting the puzzle pieces together a long time, and that's why we're invested into XRP. But Altcoin Daily generally has always been very negative, another naysayer, if you would, to Ripple and XRP, but their eyes are starting to be open, folks. All the naysayers are coming to XRP. Mark my words. Coming out from Eleanor Terrett, Scoop, XRP depository receipts will soon be available for purchase by accredited investors. Now, this is big, and we're going to go into this a little bit more, but much like traditional ADRs, American depository receipts that represent shares of foreign companies, the XRP DR represents ownership of an underlying XRP without investors having to buy the asset directly via crypto exchanges like you and I do. The benefits are similar to those of an ETF, where investors can gain exposure to an asset without having to buy it directly through a foreign exchange. Big news here. And again, this startup was founded by Citi alumni to launch XRP-backed securities. And we already know that they have Ethereum and Bitcoin-backed securities as ADRs already. So the Receipts Depository Corporation startup founded by a group of former Citigroup executives. Now, you got to think to yourself, do you think they understand what's going on here? I would imagine so, because they've been in the environment for a long time and they know where things are going, and they are planning to launch XRP-backed securities, according to people familiar with the matter. So again, this will give institutions, it's about the institutions. The institutions are the ones that are going to drive the value to the chains and securities through the U.S. regulated market infrastructure. So going back here, let's look at this a little bit, this post from the XRP Don, but he says, all right, family, gather around. We got some news, basically what we were just talking about as far as the ADRs and what's going on. They're calling it the XRP depository receipts, and soon the high rollers, and that's what we want. We want the high rollers, the accredited investors, to get a piece through the receipts depot. This is bigger than what we probably are even understand, but think of it like this. It's like those American depository receipts, the ones that let you own a slice of foreign companies without stepping foot overseas. These XRP DRs, they do the same for XRP. You don't need to mess with the crypto exchanges, the things that you and I do each day, the buying in the exchanges. You don't need to mess with crypto exchanges, again, to get your hands dirty there. It's like an ETF. You get exposure to XRP without buying it direct, keeping things clean and simple. Now, why is this important? Because it's a bridge, a beautiful bridge, he says, between the old TradFi and the new frontier of DeFi. We're talking about bringing two families together, making peace and making profits. And that's what it's about. It's about the profits. And again, another mechanism in the financial system that is changing to allow crypto to be in that environment and allow large families, large institutions to come in and buy and to be able to make profit from XRP. So what else is going on out there? The CFTC is to launch a digital assets markets pilot with who else? Ripple. And it's not just Ripple, but again, this initiative will involve a CEO forum with crypto firms like Ripple, Circle, Coinbase, and Crypto.com, as announced by the acting chairman, Caroline Pham. Again, this pilot will focus on tokenized non-cash collateral, accessing the feasibility of stablecoins in trading and clearing activities. Again, they're all coming in, folks, and all the big people are coming in. Here it is live. If you want to go out to the CFTC Gov website, just so if you want to confirm that this is real, but you come out here, the Commodities Futures Trading Commission will hold a CEO forum again to launch the CFTC's Digital Assets Markets Pilot Program for tokenized. Everything is enveloped around tokenization and bringing all the old system into tokenized markets. Participants will include Circle, Coinbase, MoonPay, Ripple, again, all of the big leaders in the crypto industry. Absolutely great news, moving ahead, but Smoke, as always, love his content, but this is a big picture again. How our banks will operate as nodes on the XRPL. So again, we know cross-border is the big slice of pie, one part that Ripple is focusing on. So he's saying banks on the XRPL will use XRP, the network's only native asset. Again, if you're participating in the net XRPL, you have to use XRP, which is the token to burn and utilize as the gas token. This allows them to directly trade between their currency and XRP, which acts as what? A bridge for less liquid pairs. By adopting this model, banks will reduce costs by minimizing pre-funded accounts, lowering currency management overhead, and decreasing rebalancing fees. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this transformation is about saving money in the end. Right now, the fees are so high, and we know that utilization of XRP will decrease that amount of fees and money that's being paid. We look here, we see Ripple intends to use XRP as a bridge currency to make transactions cheaper and faster, and that's what it's about. And the use of XRP tokens as its core pillar for settlement and fund transfers. Different banks do not need to adopt unified accounting system. If you remember back from a couple days ago, I posted the video about Bitcoin and why Bitcoin will not be used in this environment and can't be used because they were talking about the unified accounting environment, and they do not recognize Bitcoin as a unified accounting agreement. However, XRP will be, and they will maintain the original accounting system that they currently have now. They do not have to change anything. They're just going to do this on the back end using XRP as a triple node, if you would. If you look at the pictures here, if you look at this representation of what will happen, it will be right in the middle and handle that cross-border transaction. Absolutely updating the financial infrastructure and the system. Very exciting. Now we're going to dive into derivatives a little bit. Derivatives are the bulk of everything, and that is where a large source of money is. We're going to listen to this video, but just to kind of frame this a little bit for those of us that maybe not be familiar with derivatives, what are derivatives? They're futures, they're options, they're swaps. They may be collateralized debt obligations, as well as credit default swaps. It's a huge piece of liquidity and a huge piece of the financial capacity in the market out there. What are the benefits of derivatives? Risk management. Derivatives also allow market participants to spread risk. They're speculative assets. Derivatives allow traders to potentially earn a profit by guessing where the market is moving. That's how folks make money in these markets. They're looking into the futures. They're able to leverage. Derivatives can also allow traders to have a greater stake in an asset than they otherwise could. They also provide price discovery. The price of derivatives can provide information to the market about value of underlying assets. But let's take a listen to how big the derivative market is. And again, if you really want to make money with blockchain, then you should be looking at derivatives. And that's what you're going to hear here. So listen closely.
If you're interested in blockchain and you want to make money, forget about sending money back to your uncle in France. This is where you should be thinking. This is the size of the entire economy of the world right here, GDP. This is the notional principle of all derivatives, okay? These are all forwards, futures, and options, and these are all derivatives except interest rate swaps. This right here, interest rate swaps. Biggest universe that most of you have never heard of. Millions of lawyers, millions of traders, millions of accounts, all that can be put on the blockchain, okay? And all this clearing system and settlement system, which we took, Dodd-Frank is like this thick, this much of it has to do with clearing and settling of swaps. Okay, it's a nightmare, it's a mess. And we can take this whole system and simplify it with distributed ledgers. Okay, I want to talk about.
Again, all of this coming to the blockchain, and XRP and Ripple will be part of that without a doubt. Derivative is a huge, huge, huge market. Again, speaking to derivatives, traditional markets are merging with crypto derivatives as institutions integrate blockchain technology. Again, platforms will now offer regulated crypto futures, options, a lot of things we just talked about in the definition of what derivatives are, with user-friendly apps, fiat on-ramps, and custodial services. Entering crypto is becoming as simple as trading stocks. We know, and we've seen through other content that I put, that they're putting Ondo, as an example, is putting US-backed treasuries on the blockchain. This is the macro picture. This is the larger picture, which I don't know how to present it any other way than that it's just big. And if you just got to get an understanding of what you're owning and how precious it is in the big picture, and don't focus on price action day to day. Look at the long term and where we're going in the next couple years. Price action is going to follow without a doubt. But from here, institutions will continue to play regulatory arbitrage and drive down prices as needed to give themselves discounts. Retail will FOMO in as prices in crypto assets begin to rise. That's what you don't want to do. We don't want to FOMO in. We're already here. We are pre-positioned. We front ran the big institutions. We saw this years ago. And as I said in the very beginning of this video, it's not too late. I don't want you to think that you're too late. You're very, very early. So this is still a very nascent technology, and we're very, very early. So if you're thinking about it and you're sitting on the sidelines and just debating whether to get in, now's the time to get in. But let's listen to this, then I'm gonna give you some ideas of how to get in right quick, because I've been asked that as well.
Even today here at this conference, having Coinbase and GSR join ISDA is kind of an example of that convergence to some extent, where, I think, like I mentioned, the kind of native crypto derivatives market was developing in kind of one silo, and the traditional finance market was developing another. I think already we're seeing that there's a need on both sides to identify those consistent standards from a documentation standpoint, from best practices and credit and operational standpoint. And so we're kind of in the very early days. But this is, I see, as prime example of the convergence that's happening and working together to solve all of those challenges, which will help have a much more robust and, frankly, stronger market.
Yeah, I think we're getting to that point of convergence where it's definitely about sort of commercial opportunities, but Josh, it's also about ISDA. It's also about the support infrastructure, right? It's also about things like common domain model, protocols, industry utilities, where both the traditional finance world as well as the crypto native world have shared interest in things like look at reference data from the traditional finance world, right? Places where they've looked to create industry utilities and where there could be a communal data pool, right? These things are really important when we talk about derivatives, not just from pricing, but actually creating the products, baskets, financial indices, things of that nature.
Again, the theme, we are early, absolutely early, and derivatives is going to play a huge part of the puzzle of coming in. But what I mentioned minutes ago, there's a lot of folks that are intimidated about setting up wallets and all this terminology that some of us are just very familiar with. And we know it's not extremely difficult, but there are some technical challenges. But there's other ways to invest in this market. If you want a Roth IRA as an example, use iTrustCapital. If you have a traditional Roth IRA, I literally had 2 conversations this week with people. They don't understand the wallets and they're very intimidated. We're going to walk them through that process so they become unintimidated. But if you already have a traditional Roth IRA, swap it to iTrustCapital as an example. That's an easy mechanism, if you're not an accredited investor, to jump into this world of crypto and just transfer your traditional Roth into an iTrustCapital Roth, to where you can invest in these technologies that I'm talking about. It's a great platform. If you're interested, the link's there. You don't have to use my link, but again, not financial advice, but you got to look at the broad picture and maybe different ways to jump into this market. The world is changing, and it's not just enveloped around XRP. Here we go again. Another state, Kentucky, becomes the 16th U.S. state to introduce a Bitcoin reserve bill, allowing up to 10% of its reserves to be allocated into digital assets like Bitcoin. Again, a lot of these states and a lot of our environment, we're seeing this. It's not just Bitcoin. It's going to be all of these technologies, and they're going to be diversified. And that's why I diversify my portfolio among many cryptos, specifically utility-based cryptos. Again, for me, again, 1/3 of all U.S. states right now are exploring Bitcoin crypto for public funds. And if you look at a lot of these regulations, it's not just Bitcoin. Again, it's a multitude of different crypto technologies. Absolutely the most exciting time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you found this content informative. And again, please protect yourself. Stay away from the scammers. Stay away from anything that looks mischievous. if you're already in this market. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. I'm here to help, to try to guide you through this journey again, so we can all spend the rest of our days on the beaches of the world, on the golf courses of the world, traveling, whatever may be your dreams. But hold on to that dream, because you're here at the right time and you're still very early. With that, have a great rest of your day. And until next time, Zip is out.